My name is Kirsty Crouch, and it was interesting for me to see that there is a good awareness of animal care and kind of conservation strategies, because I'm going to cover both of those today. I work at Dundee and Angus College, and I am a lecturer in both animal care and zoo animal behaviour and welfare. I talk about these two a little bit separately because they're two different streams that we run. Okay. I am a registered veterinary nurse also, which is what you can see in my picture there. So first of all then, why would you choose a career in animal care or in zoo animal behaviour and welfare? Well, if you've got a passion for animals, that is one of the most key points here. Try and make a difference as well. You know, obviously these animals rely on us to meet all of their needs, so you can make such a difference to their lives by working with them and treating them nicely. To educate others, and this is a massive one for our sector as well, just to raise awareness of good standards of animal welfare. Also, there is a massive area of self-fulfillment within the animal care sector, and it's really rewarding. At the end of the day, you can come home and really feel like you have made a difference and that there's a job well done. Progression in animal care then, what are the progression routes? So further qualifications at college or university, and there's so many out there that I don't know that I could list them all off. Employment within animal care collections, so this could be zoos or any kind of wildlife parks or centres. Then there's working with the various charities that deal with animals in the UK and abroad. Working in the veterinary industry, which is one that probably pops into most people's heads when they think about working with animals, and that could be as a veterinary nursing auxiliary, as a veterinary nurse, as a veterinary surgeon, any of the kind of client care reception type team. And then there's the likes of dog grooming and riding stables and boarding, kennels and catteries, and there's so many more opportunities. Progression for zoo animal behaviour and welfare then, you could progress to further qualifications again at either college or university. Again, working in animal collections, obviously this has a bigger zoo focus than the animal care. And working in the conservation and research, and this is so crucially important across the world for raising awareness. You may be aware that many animal species are losing their habitat and they're really endangered, and the conservation and research aspect of this is really crucial and really key for saving those species. There are working for charitable organisations. There are many across the world that deal with wildlife and in the UK as well. And then educating others, again, the education sector of animal care, again, I'll mention is really quite big. Skills and qualities then, what would you need to come into the sector? Good communication skills are key, and good interpersonal skills. I find it interesting that a lot of people, when they come into animal care, they say that they've chosen animal care because they prefer animals to people. They're better at communicating with animals than people. But what I found within the sector and with all of the jobs that I've done in the animal care sector is that there's a massive people aspect to this. So most animals have owners or have keepers or have people that look after them. And there is always some discussion with those people. There's only one job I think that I've had that's not had a huge amount of human contact. The rest of them have. We need to have empathy then, because we really need to have an understanding and be able to have a feel for that animal and what it might be thinking, what it might be feeling, to be able to make sure that its needs are met. We need to have good time management and self-organisational skills, because with a lot of the jobs within the animal care sector, you're really managing your own time to make sure that everything is done. And most of all, you need to be loving, caring, kindness and have a passion for animals. If you go to work in a sector for which you have a passion and you're really passionate about, it's quite nice, because it almost doesn't feel like you're doing a job. It almost doesn't feel like you've gone to work. You're following your passion, and it's nice to get up in the morning and do something that you really enjoy. Subject areas that we would need for coming into animal care would be biology and then some form of reading, writing and numeracy. Now you'll notice that I haven't put any specific SPQ qualifications or anything in there, and this is because we at Dundee and Angus College run animal care courses right from SPQ level 3 up to level 9, 10. So generally we have something for everyone, and we can slot most people into a level that suits them. Obviously, if you're sticking in at school and you're coming out with really good qualifications, then the better for you, because we can pop you in at the higher levels. Zoo animal behaviour and welfare then, the preferred entry qualifications for this are National 5 at grade C or equivalent in biology, maths, ICT or English, and the successful completion of a national certificate in including core skills at SCQF level 5. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Our zoo animal behaviour and welfare programme is an SVQ level 6 programme. Thought my screen had frozen there. So Liz earlier mentioned the STEM curriculum, and obviously there's a massive focus on STEM at the moment in education, and I just wanted to mention the overlap there with the animal care sectors and the zoo sectors. So STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, how does that fit with animals? You know, if you want to work with animals, you might think, why do I need to know maths? Why do I need to know technology? But actually there's such a massive overlap with the STEM curriculum and animal care and the zoo industry. First of all, with the sciences, obviously biology is a biggie when it comes to anatomy and physiology. If we can understand a little bit about how those animals' bodies actually work, then we know so much about them and about their dietary needs and any kind of behavioural needs and things. Chemistry then, when you work in the animal care sector, you will be handling at some point some kind of medication for that animal, in the veterinary industry more than others, but all collections will need to medicate animals at some point, and a slight basic knowledge of chemistry is really useful there, because obviously then you have a better understanding of those drug preparations. Behaviour and nutritional sciences are biggies then as well. When you're working in the animal care sector, you need to get quite good at reading behaviour. That can tell you a lot. And then knowing about nutrition also will help you know what you can feed to that specific species, because they're all different. Technology, so information technology, it used to be, you know, when I was a kid, when we went to the vets, they produced this little index card they wrote everything down on. People don't tend to do that so much now. Everything is stored on computers. Even the zoos have central databases that store everything on computers. So information technology is a biggie. Microchips and scanners, many animals are microchipped. And then there are now starting to become available things like bionic limbs and things for animals. In terms of engineering, we use enrichment programmes a lot for animals within the animal care sector and the zoo sector. So what's an enrichment programme? Well, an enrichment programme is something that makes that animal's life just that little bit more exciting. So if you think about it, if you've got a little dog or a little cat at home, and you could pop a wee bowl of food down for that dog or cat, and it's going to eat it and then it's going to wander off. If you took that food and you put it into a little treat ball or something like that, that would only drop out one little biscuit at a time, it would take that wee dog or cat a little bit more time to eat that and keep them a little bit more engaged and interested while they're obtaining that food. And that is why we design enrichment programmes for animals. Animal accommodation obviously is a massive feat of engineering as well. We try and avoid escapees and make sure that things are suitable for animals. And then we have the various kind of implants and things that we can use. We can use things like contraceptive implants for animals as well. Maths then, as I've mentioned, many collections you will have access to need to medicate animals, and you know, you may be doing some basic drug calculations and things depending on what your role is. Weight management, we need to keep tabs on the weights of the different animals we look after to make sure that they stay happy and healthy. And then nutrition calculations and things as well to make sure that we are meeting their nutritional needs. STEM curriculum with the zoo side of things then, conservation and ecology are a biggie when it comes to the sciences. behaviour and nutrition again, and then the research sciences as well. And when I talk about research, I'm not talking about, you know, these laboratories where you're testing products on animals. I'm talking about field type of research where you're out in the wild observing naturals of behaviour, and this can really help us to have a better understanding of the species that we look after within animal collections, but also to help them survive out in the wild. Technology, again, information technology, computers are used a lot, and then you've got your microchip scanners and contraceptive implants as well for zoo animals. The animal handling equipment needs to be much more superior for a lot of the zoo species than it would be for you know, some of the domestic species. I couldn't just pop a collar and lead on a Bengal tiger, for example, and trot it way off to the vets. If it needs to be seen by the vets, you can imagine that is a massive tactical operation. Engineering, again with the enrichment programmes, and in a wee second I'm just going to show you a little video which will feature some enrichment programmes so that you can see those firsthand. And then animal accommodation also, we couldn't have some European wolves just trotting about Dundee by accident because they've managed to escape their accommodation. So these need to be really cleverly designed. And then we've got the transportation of animals, and many wild animals will need darted to be transported because of the risk that they pose to human beings if they were to become fractious or escape. Maths then, when we're talking about wildlife conservation and things, there's a lot of data analysis goes into that. So you will make your own observations, but also if you can back that up with some figures and statistics, that's also good. Then you have the drug calculation side of things where, you know, when you're working in zoo collections and things, you will definitely be handling different medications and different drugs. And weight management as well. A lot of this is done by visual body scoring, but we do need to keep tabs on weight to make sure that the animals stay healthy. Nutrition as well, there's not as much known about a lot of the wild species nutrition as there would be kind of on the internet for dogs and cats. So a lot of research done in and around this, and diets are changing, and recommendations for captive diets for the wild species are changing all the time. What I would like to do now is, because our zoo course is a fairly new course and it's the only one of its kind at the minute in Scotland, I would just like to show you a little video about what we do on our zoo course.
Hi, my name is Kirsty Crouch and I am a lecturer on the Zoo Animal Behaviour and Welfare course at Dundee and Angus College. The Zoo Animal Behaviour and Welfare course is really unique in that it allows students to study wild species held within Camperdown Wildlife Centre. Camperdown have graciously opened their doors and allowed our students to study any of the species held within their collection. In the past, students that have studied with us have studied species such as European brown bear, European wolf, lion-tailed macaques, lyre gibbons, meerkats, and many others. It's a really exciting opportunity to study the behaviour of these species, not only within the collection, but also what their behaviours would normally be in the wild. During the course, you will also have the opportunity to build an enrichment programme for the species and implement that into the enclosure. As part of the assessment for this course, you are required to make a documentary about the species of your choice. And you will gain skills in digital media as well as all the animal-based subjects within the course. Entry requirements for this course will be National 5s or Highers, as this is an SQA Level 6 course. The course is full-time and it's based at Kingsway campus in Dundee, but also at Camperdown Wildlife Centre. I really enjoy teaching on the course and I'm really looking forward to meeting you all next semester when you come to study with us.